Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for her standard per the usual Power Book 3 Raising Kanan episode review slash discussion slash recap, kind of, sort of. This was it was an okay episode. It was entertaining. I was looking forward to it. I have to say that with each episode, I do feel the audio, like everything, is giving me dated. It's giving me this dated feel, which I guess is, realism at its finest. You know what I mean? Like, it's really holding true to the genre of the 90s, right? But at the same time, I feel like I'm watching an older movie. And maybe it's because I've been watching old movies all weekend. I don't know. But I definitely feel like I'm watching New Jack City or Belly, something like that. I feel like I'm watching, something dated. Boys in the Hood. Even the audio feels dated, right? Which I guess is a good thing. We also get introduced to a couple of new characters. I'm not really sure how long they're going to stick around. I don't know if it's purposeful that they have not been a lot more open about who's going to be on the show. Like, typically what you do is you look the show up and you'll see images, all news, images, cast, that type of thing. And you click on the cast button, it'll give you... For a lot of shows, it will give you a rundown on who's going to be in the show, how many episodes. Like, this person is going to be in it. Bob Smith is going to be in it for 3 episodes, for 6 episodes, or that type of thing. Or what's going to happen if you get an idea of what's going to happen when you see a main character or a big name character or something, and they're only in 1 episode or 2 episodes or 3 episodes. You're like, oh, they're going to get that. Well, I don't know whose idea it was, Courtney's or whomever, but apparently they've decided not to release a full cast list. It kind of is hampering too, because even if they don't put how many episodes, you want to know people's names. You want to know their full names, and you want to know the names of the characters that they're playing on the show. Like, it's part of the information that we share with you guys as subbies. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. One person that we do know for sure is Quincy Brown. In this episode, he plays a guy named Crown Cub Macho, which is a weird name. I'm not sure how far he's going to go in this series, but he does have a bit of impact in this first episode that we see him in. But we're going to go character by character. I think it's more interesting. I don't feel like Kanan's character got a lot of dialogue or had a lot of impact on this episode, which surprised me because his best friend was killed last episode. But this episode really showed us a lot about Marvin, Lulu, as well as Rock, of course. So without further ado, let's start with Rock. The episode opens with Rock doing like a reverse cowboy. I think one reverse cowboy is the woman turned backwards on the man. I think the reverse cowboy is both. Or maybe it's the spoon cowboy, because they were kind of spoon. Anyway, it opened with this sex scene. I'm still waiting for their sex scenes to get steamy. I'm still waiting for any of the sex scenes in this season to get steamy. We know that Power, the original Power, the sex scenes were hot. I mean, our first episode of Power, season 1, episode 1, with Amari Hardwick and Naturi Naughton in the shower. I was like, what is we doing? Yeah. I enjoyed myself. Yeah, I did. Anywho, so I was hoping, we get some 90s love scenes, but I mean, boo. Anyway, it opens with that. Symphony and Rock in the bed. They're at her house. He's going to get up and he's going to go, but because he's got a paper that he's got to write. They have dialogue and conversation. She continually wants him to entertain her, either sexually or drop some knowledge on her. She likes to learn things she doesn't know. And he seems like he wants to get to know her. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's waiting for the thumbs up from her to date her, to call her girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? To make this thing steady, to, put a title on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, let's share apartment keys. You know what I'm saying? But he knows that he has to wait on her. Like, make no mistake about it. She's alpha female, and he's aware of it. Now, I'm not sure if he's letting her be alpha female because he is more of a submissive person. I don't think so. He doesn't come across that way to me. He come across as a person who is extremely confident in who he is, enough to the point where he doesn't really feel like he has to push her around or overtalk her or loud talk her to be heard. You know what I mean? He just, a lot of people feel like he's up to something. Like he might be a narc, an informant, or something like that. All of those things are entirely possible, right? But there are men out there that don't have a problem with an alpha female. And they are still very much alpha males themselves. They just carry themselves with a certain type of confidence. Y'all know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he's got to go. He's got to write this paper, and he wants to get on the computer at his house. And she was like, I got a computer or something sort of thingy in there in the room. He was like, you do? You got a computer? She was like, yep. So instead of him go ahead and getting dressed like he going home and then going to get on the computer, what does he do? He goes and gets on the computer, and he's got on boxer shorts and no shirt on. Now, nothing says I'm stomping around up in here like I own the place, like being half naked in the place. As a woman, we know this. As a woman, we know, walking around in his shirt and stuff like that, just marks your territory. So Ian walks Kanan, and he sees that Symphony is sitting there at his computer. That's his computer. And he's a spoiled brat. Yeah, he grows up to be a street thug, but he started out as a spoiled kid. The son of a street thug, right? He wants to know what she's doing in what he's doing in at his computer in his house. Dude, what the duck? What the duck you doing up here on my system and stuff? You know what I'm saying? And in walks Rock, and she's like, Kanan, mind your business. This is mommy's friend. And he was like, I need to hear from you right now. What the heck you doing up here? Like, what's going on with you? And she was like, you more than an hour late for school while you strolling through here eating a bowl of cereal. Go get your ish, go get your stuff, and get in the car. I'm taking you to school. And he walks off, and mean mugs, Symphony's like, well, I would be upset too if a dude was walking around half naked in my mama's house. And she was like, you worry about getting your paper done. Okay, that's what you worry about. You would let me worry about my son. And he was like, oh, well, okay. And then I'm like, did he leave? Did he leave and take his stuff and go? Or did she leave him at her house? Never, ever, 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 ever leave a dude in your house. Not never. Okay, not never, ever, ever. Don't leave nobody in your house, Rob. Don't do it. So she's taking Kanan to school and she's trying to have a conversation with him. A what for a conversation? And she sees his foot kicked up on the dashboard and she sees it says R.I.P. D Wiz on it, right? We already saw Kanan opening up looking at the obituary. They've already found his body, buried his body, the whole nine. And I was just like, we didn't even get a moment with D Wiz. Like, other than seeing him killed, we didn't get to see when Kanan found out. We didn't get any of those things. This is all afterwards, right? It just feels like that first episode was the only episode where we got true details. We got true deets, right? We get to see where Rock tells him maybe we'll go by and see D Wiz's mom and, you know, take her something just to support her and let her know we thinking of her. We got to stick up for one another. And he was like, any word on who did it, who did what? And she was like, listen, you need to be grateful it wasn't you. Because everybody thinks it was him and that takes the heat off of you. And in this moment, Kanan looked at her kind of weird. And in the rest of the episode, he does treat her like he knows. The way he looks at her, it's something about it seems like he's connecting the dots that his mom may or may not have been in charge. Everybody, as he goes along the way, well, not everybody, but a couple of people he's asking, did you hear what happened to D-Wiz? He does ask Scrap that. But my issue with Rock and the Kanan situation is you might as well start treating him like you do Marvin or anybody else. You might as well start treating him like, you know, he one of your foot soldiers, because he's talking to you like he run you. He's talking to you like he got say so. And if you're not going to get him this right here, this sharp part of this right here straight to the forehead, if you're not going to do that, you might as well stop treating him like your son altogether. That's what I'm saying. Because the way he's woofing up at you in this real aggressive, mean mugging way, girl, he gonna grab you around your neck. Watch what I tell you. He gonna grab you around your neck. He this close to grabbing you around your neck, Rob. You best start busting him. You best start busting him. I'm telling you. Okay? You best start busting him. He think he your husband. He think he run you. And if you know, like I know, you will take this hard pork right here, okay, and put it right up in there. All right? Okay. So we see where Rock and Lulu and Marvin are once again sitting and talking. They're in the car this time, and they are discussing their money and drug dilemmas, right? They got the bodega popping off, but it's not ready yet, okay? And the product is low, and even if they did have a ton of product, they don't have no territory really where they can just push it, and they're afraid that they're going to lose their customers to Unique. Like the customers aren't even going to be looking for them to have product. They're going to be looking to Unique to have products, right? So Rock makes the decision that she is going to go and she is going to talk to the Connect. And we get to meet the Connect. I can't place his name, but he's played in quite a few movies, and he played in one of my favorite episodes of Law and Order: Criminal Intent. This guy, and I believe he also played in one of my favorite episodes of The Closer. Yeah, The Closer or Major Crimes, one of them. Anyway, really, really nice guy. She goes to see him. He's in the bingo hall with his big mama, and he's a very calm, lay low type of guy. She basically blows smoke up his butt because the cops are coming down on the corners that she does have. the areas where she is allowed to sell, the cops are busting and chasing her dudes off and locking them up, and you know what I'm saying, hemming them up, taking their products, just harassing them, right? Detective Howard and his sidekick, the white chick. And he questions her about it. And she was like, oh, no, it's just routine. They doing it to everybody. And he was like, uh-huh. And, you know, he asked her a couple of more questions. And Rock stands her ground. She was like, everything copacetic, everything cool, everything good. Like, yeah, it's just, you know what I'm saying, business as usual. We do need more product. He was like, let me tell you something. If Ish don't cool down with you, I'm pulling my product. And you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to be your connect anymore. And she was like, what are you talking about? Everything's fine. Like, perfectly fine. Like, I have no idea. So his boy who gonna get her product to her and send her, he sends her on her way out. She talking to the dude and she's like, hey, how's it going in Carolina? I thought you was moving to Carolina. He was like, it's gonna probably be another year or so before I get to move because my money's funny right now. She was like, maybe you should think about a part-time job. Then we see her later on talking to the dude, and she's offering him an envelope jam-packed full of money, right? And she's telling him, here's an opportunity for you to move your wife, you, and all your hoes to Carolina and get up out of New York. All you got to do is tell me the next time when and where that Unique is picking up his load, right? His re-up. And the guy's like, So he gives her the information. Instantly, Rock takes it over to Detective Howard. Now, Detective Howard is having an existential crisis because after chasing down Scrap and getting dusted, okay, because Scrap was in and out, stick and move. That's the name of this episode, in and out, up and down, up and through, in this door, out that door, jump the gate, run across the yard, down up under, shimmy and didn't even get his tennies dirty, baby. Dusted them off real clean like that. Deuces. Detective Howard goes to the doctor, and the doctor lets Detective Howard know that he's got myeloblastoma leukemia. Very, very, very aggressive form, right? He's going to need a bone marrow transplant, okay? He said, I ain't got no family. You got to have somebody. I got some family in Alabama. You need to talk to them. They don't like me because we had some arguments over some property value. That was bought and sold. And she was like, I don't think you get how serious this is. Like, you need to immediately find someone who can give you bone marrow. And getting this news automatically puts him into this place where he is thinking about his mortality. He's thinking about the legacy, okay? His legacy as a cop, his legacy on the streets, how people will see him when he's sick, when he's down, when he has left this earth and gone on to be with the Lord. And he and the white cop kind of have this back and forth where every time he goes to do an appointment, like this doctor's appointment, he leaves her in the car. You know what I'm saying? She keeping the car engine running. She keeping her seat warm. And she tries to kind of come off on him about it. And it's in this moment she can hear that everything wasn't great. Even though he's saying it was great news in the doctor's office, everything was in fact not great in the doctor's office. He's having this little bit of a meltdown in his own way. About, his future, and so, there's this moment. So when he does get to talk to Rock and she, they meet up at the same place she took, looks like they meet up at the same place she took Kanan to learn how to shoot. They have this conversation and he is still having this existential conversation. It's coming off like he's conversing with Rock. But it kind of all feels familiar in terms of how he's feeling about this news that he's gotten in his future. And she gives him this information. And even though he has made this arrangement with Unique, he's also got his boss coming down on him, because on top of Tubuck's body, now they've got D-Wiz's body, both underage deaths. And so him doing a good drug bust on Unique's guys will, you know, level up his legacy as a cop. It will be a good bust to go in on his in his portfolio. And so he takes the information, and Rock at the same time is trying to take Unique down a little bit. She's trying to show the Connect that the heat is on all of them, and she wants to hit Unique's corners like her corners have been hit his pocket and his stash like her stash has been hit. She's always moving. She's always, you know, trying to find a way to level up. And the thing about it is, the way that she goes about it, other people are always hurt. Other people are always affected in this way. Like, so that was a good moment between Detective Howard and Rock. We also see where Rock gets an opportunity. She's putting up some things in Kanan's room. We get to see her have this conversation with Jukebox. Apparently Jukebox used to spend the night with her all the time, used to live with her. And Rock misses it, and you know, she kind of talks with Jukebox a little bit and learns that Jukebox is falling for somebody. She shares that she got somebody too that she really liked, and she said, you know, us girls, we deserve to have a smile on our face. You know, it's a good moment. At the same time, I have this distrust for Rock now. I like her. She's still, you know, a bad mama jamma. Okay, she's a brick. Ow. She's mighty, and letting it all hang out, but I don't trust her. She like one of them people that they on your side, they sympathize, they got a story to go with your story. All of it make it seem like, make you feel like you can really trust them, like they know what you've been going through, and all the while they stabbing you in the back or taking whatever you tell them and using it, you know, for their own agenda. And that's how I feel about Rock now. You know, everything that happened with D-Wiz, it just kind of changed the way I looked at her. So, so that was a good moment. And we finally got to see her have this tender conversation. She had way more tender conversation for Jukebox than she has had for Kanan. I think if Rock, I don't know, I might be wrong about that. She has talked to Kanan till she blew in the face. Anyway, moving on to Marvin. Marvin continues to show the white chick down at the club more respect than he shows Jukebox, and he gets rewarded for that with a little head. He gets a dog for her, this big Rottweiler. And like I said, she rewards his measly amount of affection with oral sex. I was like, girl, I mean, you could have got yourself a dog from down at the pound and didn't need to get your knees dusty to do it. Like, this dude really ain't did nothing for you to be going down on him. I mean, I don't know, child. Some people out there done did far more for far less. I'm just saying. And he keeps, you know, disrespecting and dismissing Jukebox, and he gets rewarded for that with her disrespect and her disappointment. Like, she don't have no trust for her daddy at all. Kanan walks in on Marvin going through her room. I'm talking about like going through the mattress, going through the drawers, smelling what's in the glass on her dresser, going through her closets, all of that. And when Kanan confronts him about it, he was like, oh yeah, I think she took a belt amount. I was like, is he taking money from her? Is he trying to cop the money or trying to cop the goods that she's stealing? Like, what? Why are you going through your daughter's room like that? You don't care about who she date. You don't care about what she do in her spare time. She's just an afterthought to you. Why are you going through her room like you some sort of crackhead parent? What's up? Don't you got your own money? Aren't you making your own deals out here? Marvin, you disrespectful as hell. Anyway, he then disrespects Rock, goes behind her back, and lets Kanan talk him into helping him by giving him product to sell, giving Kanan product to sell. Okay, this is what's gonna get you killed, Marvin. This is what's gonna get you killed. I'm telling you. So, we see where later on Marvin and Lulu are caught in this weird type of way. But first, let's talk about Lulu. Lulu, you know, he's dating Famous's sister. And they're all hot and heavy. She tried, you know, Famous thinks of her as this, you know, super innocent, sweet person. We get to see in this episode that she's a mover and a shaker too. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's coming with her own agenda too. You know what I'm saying? She's not as innocent as she seems. She's really coming across a little bit more like Holly. Remember Tommy's girlfriend? She feeling a little Holly-ish to me. All right. So he takes her with him when he goes to see this producer guy who is played by Quincy Brown, and he plays a character called Crown Camacho, and he's taking him a cache of a blow, and we also learn in this moment that Lulu's daddy was in music some sort of way. I think he played the horns or something like that, and so Lulu knows a little bit about production. He knows a little bit about soundboards and instrumentals and that type of thing. And he actually knows more than this Crown guy does. Meanwhile, old girl, Famous's sister, is trying to get Crown Camacho to hear her brother out. Have you heard my brother? My brother can really spit rap. He can yada, yada, yada. And Lulu is not really feeling how she moving. One, you talking to another dude right in front of me. A lot of dudes don't like that. A lot of dudes don't like that. You're supposed to be a fly on the wall. Just look pretty over there. You're not supposed to be over here conversing, making deals with dudes on my drop-offs, right? So, and me without water. So, yeah, later on they go to dinner, and he's quiet at dinner. She notices and she questions him about him, and he was like, "You're not as dumb as you appear." I was like, "Girl, tread lightly here, because Lulu got a hair trigger on him. Okay, you rub this dude the wrong way, and you will be sleeping with the fishes." But she pumps him up. She tells him, "You should be doing what this guy is doing. And you could be doing both and doing both well. You're a smart guy, yada, yada, yada." And, you know, it softens him up. I was just like, Lulu, what's happening here? What's happening here? I just can see in my mind's eye both Lulu and Marvin. I can see that they're both not long for this world. Not long for this work. I can just see it. You know, later on, we see after everything has blowed up with Unique spot being blown up thanks to Rock and being exposed, and the police commandeering all of Unique's guys and his merchandise, and Unique's corners are empty and bare. There's no guys out there slinging. There's no dope to be found. And Lulu and Marvin are there in the red Mercedes. And they checking out the naked corners. They trying to figure out where all the dudes at. And as they're pulling off, Unique is pulling up in his car, and he notices his corner's empty. He's like, what the duck? And the cars pass each other, and they look at each other like, you know? I was like, it's about to go down. It's about to be war. And I was just like, I'm not trying to. I was really feeling Lulu and feeling his character, but I'm not trying to get invested in any of these characters at any moment. Dead, gone, any of them, right? Jukebox is, at this point, we see a lot of childlike qualities in Jukebox. We see a lot of fragility in her, nervousness, this unsuredness about her, that type of thing. But like that, she can switch over and just be this really hard, sharp edge. Okay. And I think she's probably going to flip back and forth in this way until one day something pivotal happens and she gets stuck. And she's stuck in this hard edge place. And I'm just waiting for that to happen. I'm just waiting to see that happen. I think Marvin's going to be a catalyst for it. I think maybe the loss of Marvin is probably going to be the catalyst for it. And the fact that she never probably will ever get from her dad what she needs. I think it's going to switch for her. Either that or the loss of the girlfriend. Something's gonna change that switching, and she's gonna get stuck in this place where she is all claw and all teeth. And that softer, sweeter Jukebox that we see here is going to die off, right? Let's talk about Kanan and then we are done. So for however sneaky Rock is, Kanan has turned out to be sneakier. This kid cannot be trusted. She should have him with someone at all times. And that someone needs to be smarter than Scrap. That someone needs to be smarter than Scrappy. In my opinion. I kid about the elbow. Not really, but kinda. But, I mean, you see how this kid is wilding out. You see how it's affecting your business. You need to get that rein and get it tight, right? If anything, he should be with you day and night. You or Lulu. Because left to his own devices, this kid's going to be the end of your business, Rock. This Kanan is going to be the reason why your business goes under. So obviously, he's having a hard time with D-Wiz. We're not going to spend too much time on D-Wiz because the show didn't spend no time on D-Wiz. He's upset about it. Kanan is, I mean, he brews on a steady flame of stupidity. You know what I'm saying? He brews at that level, right? And he is impatient. He is impulsive. He's willful as duck, right? Like, you got to get this kid under control. It's not going to happen, but it's recommended. Like I said, he talks Marvin into selling him blow wholesale. And then Jukebox teaches him how to slang it out on the corner. Jukebox is a booster. I don't know why people thought she was selling her clothes. I knew from jump when she was selling it on the street. If you've ever bought something from people on the street, most of the time they boosters. Unless it's just knockoff and you can just tell knockoff. I mean, that's one animal. Boosters, on the other hand, that's a whole nother animal, right? So she's boosting and robbing with a crew of dudes. And apparently she slung drugs before, but she chooses to boost instead, for whatever reason, and she teaches him how to sling. Like, these are the people that you would possibly sell to. If I were you, I would sell to white people because you can mark your product up and make good money at it. And we see where it clicks with Kanan when he makes his first sale. And he makes that first little bit of money. Now, he wants to come up on some money because he wants to help out Davina. While he's in the stash house, okay, bus drops Davina off again. Either a bus drops her off or he sees her bend the corner. And he goes out, and Scrap tries to stop him and tell him, don't go out there, right? Don't do that. Nobody's supposed to know this is our stash house. He was like, she's not even in the game. Scrap was like, everybody is in the game. Another hint that Davina is probably going to be caught up in the drug game in some sort of way, right? We know she's desperate for money. We know her mama's desperate for money, right? When he sees her, she once again pushing the stroller, but she got a drill there in the stroller with the baby. And he's trying to talk to her, and she's like, did you hear that D-Wiz may have had beef with Tupac and got him killed? And he was like, yeah, I heard that too, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that about D-Wiz. I don't think it's true. I think people are putting D-Wiz in there, but D-Wiz, I don't think D-Wiz was about that life. And she was like, oh, okay. He was like, what's up with the drill and the baby buggy? And she was like, yeah, it was my dad's tool. I need to get some money up, so I'm going to take it to sale. And he was like, cool. This is why he went and hit Marvin up for the dope, because he realized sitting on the stash house wasn't paying him nothing. He needed to make his money, so he talks to the weakest link in his mom's crew, which is Marvin. So after he makes the money, he goes and takes her groceries, cereal, milk, the whole nine. It's very thoughtful, very kind-hearted. The issue is that you ran out of the safe house. You didn't let her get down the street a bit, and then you come out the safe house and then approach her from a safe angle. You come running out the safe house and let the safe house door slam behind you. So what did Davina say? Why are you coming out of this house? Oh, it's just a place where we chill out. You know what I'm saying? Play games, whatnot. No big place. She said it looked like a crack house to me. He was like, no big deal. Now, so when Davina gets between a rock and a hard place, and Unique says to her, what the heck is going on? I see you with this Kanan dude. What you know? I'm going to give you woo-da-woo-da-woo, or I'm going to hurt your mama, or yada, yada, yada. She has no choice but to give up everything she knows. And what she knows is because you are impulsive, and you are impatient, and you are willful, and you Kanan think you know more than anybody else. And you have just given up your mama's stash house. You just gave up your mama's stash house. You just became yet another weak point for your mama. You just put another bit of chink in your mama's armor. Oh, I see why your heart turned cold. I see, because you're going to be the catalyst to get your family killed and hemmed up. And I think that's what's going to turn you cold. When you see your behaviors, how your behaviors kind of dominoed and led to the death of your beloved family members, with the exception of Jukebox. The episode ends with Rock and Kanan going down to D-Wiz's mama house and taking a pie and looking like, they coming in concerning help. We see Rock, holding both of their hands and praying, and then she kisses Kanan's hand because she at least got her son, and the mama is crying and Kanan is crying, and Kanan is looking at her like, I know you had something to do with this. But she sit there and she hug and she pray with this lady and console this lady and had this lady baby shot in the face. I'm telling you, this is going to be a bloody book. It may not happen in this season 1. It may spill over into season 2, or season 2 we might see older. But before the end of this season, I believe we're going to see the death of Kanan's family altogether completely wiped out, with the exception of Jukebox. that's it for this episode, you guys. You tell me what you think. If that feel more like a filler episode, I'm still missing these deeper conversations. I still like to know a little bit more about what's going on with Jukebox and her dad. We see where she's had some highlight moments with her girlfriend, and that was like a sweet moment. But I'd like to know a little bit more about their relationship. Like, what is really going on? What is really happening? And you guys tell me what you think of this episode. I'd love to hear it. Put it down below. Okay. And until next. Oh, hey, don't forget to rate this video. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Comment down below. Of course, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll holla.